Tijana Bogdanovic of Serbia against Charlie Maddox. It's the men's minus 58 kilogram category. I am absolutely looking forward to this one.
I need to lie down after that last one. That was a... Bogdanovic gave it plenty. Maddox as well, but... Well, that was fantastic entertainment, and I really hope that people that are new to the sport are appreciating it and enjoying it.
Men's final. Jesus Tortosa Cabrera of Spain, who has been absolutely phenomenal here today, against Rui Braganca of Portugal. Here comes the two athletes. It's really is quite something to see. Tortosa Cabrera, his 3 matches, a 12-0 win over in the preliminary round over Konstantin of Belarus. In the quarterfinal, it was an 8-3 victory over Mamadov of Azerbaijan, and in the semi-final, a 17-5 win over Levent Tunkat. An absolute incredible demolition of one of the legends of the game. As for Rui Braganca, well, he won 12-0 over Gökhan Sezer of Turkey in the first round. It was a 13-7 win over Milos Gladovic in the quarterfinal, and in the semi-final, a really major victory over Mohamed Ketbi, 11 points to 4. So we have the world number 3 in Braganca of Portugal lining up. And Cabrera, well, he's only just started fighting at senior level, doesn't even have a world ranking. It's going to be hard, though, after this result.
No, for sure, and his confidence will be high as well. He's been very, very good all day, and they're almost a carbon copy of each other. It's going to come down to decision-making. Braganca straight away just showing that his shin guard has come loose. His normal service has been resumed. The centre referee's job is to protect the safety of the players first. And much of a muchness in terms of fight. I think Jesus Tortosa Cabrera, 6'1", just a little bit taller than Braganca at 5'11".
Yeah. And these two have, you know, they've both looked incredibly solid all the way through. And, you know, I think Cabrera's demolition of Tunkat was certainly my highlight of the day, just how easy he made that look. But he's got another big athlete here. Braganca is certainly no walk in the park. A self-taught athlete from Portugal. You were saying earlier, John, he's set up a, you know, the training session himself.
Yep, self-funded, and they've organised the setup together in Portugal with Hugo Cherau. I've just learned that from our Portuguese director, so I hope that was even somewhere near it. But Hugo, the coach, they have managed to develop a system, and it's working so far. They had Pedro Silva back in the day from Portugal, one of the leading lights, Olympian in Beijing. But it is the Portuguese Braganca that picks off the first point there.
Well, the Spaniard won't let that worry him. He went down against Tunkat early on, and just tries to get the head. Well, as so often, you know, these athletes are very good at flicking the head out the way. So to an uninitiated like myself, that looks like a head
So
kick.
did I. I put my hand up to say I thought that was 3 points, but you called it right. It's the speed at which you evade as well, and that comes down to the awareness.
Yeah. Sometimes it can really make it look as if there was a head kick, but the athletes have just managed to follow the foot.
We're trying to make him follow the hands here, the little hand jive from Jesus Tortosa. He's trying to confuse Braganca. Braganca, I don't know if he's actually doing this on purpose. I think he actually is. These are not tied on properly. Because if you do that, you get a little break.
The middle one there, can you see? The middle one's very loose.
Yep, that's on purpose, I think, just to give yourself some breathing space.
Is that a little trick of the trade? You probably know all of them, don't you, by now?
I had to learn all of them, Adrian. It was survival tactics. No, I think it is just a little bit of kidology. It gives him a chance to take a breather.
Well, just the first 1 point in it so far, but it's not been a defensive match at all. Both of them very much testing each other out, trying different angles, and that's the way it can be in Taekwondo, that, you know, you are going to just do a few tests and just see what works, what doesn't work.
You have to. I mean, this is the thing in any fight, is that you can't go in there without any information. You've got to go in there with your tactics established and try and execute your game plan. And the key point, and it worked in the previous match, is to stick to what you are good at. You can't just change on the off chance, well, you know, something that I haven't been able to do before. I'm just going to make it up as I go along in a final. It's about sticking to your strengths.
A few words being said there, mainly. That's quite an interesting little coaching chat. There's more looks than words on that one. They obviously have some synergy on a mental level there. Just a few little, they know what's going on. So here we go, round 2. And Cabrera hasn't certainly had a shutout in many rounds in his competition so far. He's been scoring very freely all the way through this.
Yep, Jesus Tortosa Cabrera taking the centre of the ring, using those long limbs to try and fend off the attentions here of Braganca. Braganca just circling, trying to change the angle. Good chop kick, but it will be a kyungo for falling over in the attempt of kicking. And as we've seen, Adrian, these kyungos can prove pivotal down the stretch.
I've just looked on the scoring system. He's scored 36 points in 3 matches. That is definitely free scoring.
Wow. So 36 divided by 3 is 17?
A lot. Yes. He's been very good, in other words. And the fact that he didn't manage to score in round 1 is definitely a testament to some great defence from Braganca. Now it's 1-1. We have a nice little local derby here, don't we? Spain versus Portugal as well. I'm sure these two possibly have faced each other. There's a big kick coming in from Portugal. And 2 points, and another one. Oh, he's scoring so freely here. And Cabrera decides to unleash some heavy artillery himself. Doesn't score.
That shows you how quickly things change in Taekwondo. Braganca, it worked once, so he tried it again. It worked again, so he did it again. And that's one of the things. You've got to be confident with it. And Jesus Tortosa Cabrera just caught a little bit in the headlights with that one. Managed to find a shot of his own.
Well, that's incredible. Absolutely.
That looked like a really sore kick there to the knee.
Nasty
His
one.
knee seemed to lock there just for a second. Totally unintentional. Irrespective of the lack of intent, it still stings.
And he's got to fight on, hasn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
We don't want any time wasting. This is not football.
He's obviously in a bit of a bad state. He's got 30 seconds to try and get through. Guess how many points Braganca has scored in his 3 bouts?
917.
36 as well.
Now there you go.
That's... you
So I was a little bit out on the first.
Statos like me like that sort of thing. I'll call myself a stato. I can't say statistician.
Well, you did the second time. You managed it. 5-2 now. And who's going to get the biggest statistic of all? Who's going to be named the first ever European Games champion?
It was 30 on the scoring because 30 gave you a point. And Braganca leads 5-2. There's just a little 11. That won't bother them. But, well, this is... You know, this just shows Braganca is a little bit unorthodox at times. May not look pretty, but effective. Having seen what Cabrera has done to the other athletes, Braganca is actually doing a really nice number on this final.
You could say that Braganca has the answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, I just did say that.
You did say, yeah.
Can never take it back. No, but he's been excellent so far, Braganca, and it comes down to, as I said, the physicality is important, but it's the mentality when you get to that level. And what I loved is that it worked once, and then he thought, okay, I'll do it again, and just kept doing it. And why not? Here's the video of it.
Yeah, those 3 points. And Cabrera's actually, in fact, there was a head kick there that looked as if it nearly made contact. You certainly saw the head shake, but well, that was a head kick, surely.
It hit the neck.
The electronic, that was very unlucky. He should have, or could have, so nearly had 3 more points. And Cabrera just, I don't know, you know, he's the youngster here. I just wonder if he's just a little bit stunned being in this final.
Sometimes he has that look about him. He's got a very playful expression. He stands. I saw him at the Youth Olympic Games, and he just looks as if he's taking it all in. He's kind of in screensaver mode.
Yeah.
But when he gets going, there's a fighter in there for sure, and that's why he's in the final. But I took your point. I know what you're saying. He's got that style about him, where he just looks.
It just looks a bit vacant, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He looks as if he's rabbit in the headlights a little bit. And you know, he's only 17 years old. He's still incredibly young.
Sure, big occasion.
And he's up against the 23-year-old Braganca of Portugal. Tries the head kick. And Braganca has got a bit of experience under his belt. He knows now he just needs to try and eat the clock up on a few situations. He's got a 3-point lead. If he can nibble another point, that will be good. But he'll just defend things. There's another 10 seconds gone.
And that is a very important point to make. Killing the clock is important. You've got to try and... You've got a 3-point gap. You've still got to stay busy.
Yep.
Try and subdue your opponent. And as you mentioned, a few of the darker arts of the sport, Braganca is good at them, and he's taken one on the inside, and it's been taken away from him.
Taken away because he'd already called Kallio, and then automatically there's a Kyungo there.
Yep, for holding.
Braganca just sort of shrugged his shoulders and said, well, I was already kicking when you called Kallio. I'm not going to be able to stop it, but it seems a little bit cruel to get a Kyungo for something when it's not blatant, is it? It's more of just an accident. Well, you see, he kicks again. That one didn't score that time, but
Thank goodness it didn't score. I can't take those kicks. I don't know.
You're old school, yeah.
No, I'm not.
You don't like these kicks around the back.
I prefer the other actual real turning kicks, but you have to adapt to the system. You can only play the rules that are in front of you. Wow. Oh,
that was close. That was 1 point away.
It was one Baku shot.
One Baku away from scoring for Braganca. And Cabrera looks to have just run out a bit of steam here.
But we've seen that before, just playing possum a little bit, perhaps, and just going for one final assault.
Yeah.
But when you've been smacked around the neck, you know that it can happen again, and Braganca is going to take another Kyungo for this.
And another one.
Yep, good.
Exactly the same.
I'm glad.
And the official will give another Kyungo, and well, we're going to have a card. And well,
I'm not glad. I'm not glad because of the Kyungo, and Hugo Chirao is within his rights to do that. He said no Kyungo because he's not holding.
Yeah,
it probably isn't. I just don't like that point. I think it's how do you bring children into a sport and say, right, let's all learn martial arts? That's lesson number one. I don't like it.
It's a bit of a cheap shot, isn't it? But you know, it has become part of the game now. There you see now. Yes, he isn't holding.
No,
there's no. He's got his
clearly
arms.
not. There's no Kyungo.
Yeah, he's got his arms outstretched.
Yeah.
And well, this is one of our theories now. If this is rejected, then I think we might as well just forget ever playing a video replay card forever to challenge the referee on a decision like that. Because
this would be the first of none. So let's see how we go on.
Here we go. It's rejected. Okay, let's just forget that rule altogether because he's got his arms completely up in the air.
Hugo Chirao was correct. He was correct.
Yeah.
As much as I'm not a fan of the technique, it doesn't really matter. No. And the only thing that matters, Adrian, down the stretch here, there's a gold at stake.
And there's 25 seconds to go, and there's only 2 points in it. Cabrera needs to wake up quickly. He seems to have been in a slumber in this final, then they're really getting
He's found his way in with a headshot there.
The big headshot just misses. Wow. But it's still 5-4, and we are very tight for time. The clock's ticking. Cabrera's got great confidence in his own ability.
And one Kyungo would pull it into sudden death here.
Absolutely.
But Tortosa just waiting.
Yep. Braganca's got to be very careful of not giving a Kyungo away. There's a point goes each way. My goodness,
Tortosa
what a finish.
Doesn't have it in the end.
Time is out, and we are finished. The referee is not going to bring it. There may be a card coming here.
I think for stepping off of the mat, Jesus Tortosa is saying that it should be a Kyungo, was both feet off of the mat, or for holding. This is just a last-ditch attempt here at trying to get some Spanish gold.
This is a last-ditch attempt. Now, the big question is, and we might see this over the shoulder, is do they have a replay of the clock on the screen? Because that's the key thing. Does he go out of play?
Well, this won't show us because this is too high.
Now, Braganca, he goes out of play.
It's been rejected, it's been overturned, and that's the victory there.
Yeah, they actually rejected it, and, well, Rui Braganca, an incredible performance. What a performance it was. He takes out the Spaniard who has conquered all before him, and Portugal have taken the first ever Taekwondo gold at the European Games. John, isn't it lovely? You know, these guys, Cabrera, he can hold his head up high. He has absolutely been phenomenal today.
He's had the harder passage through to the final, Jesus Tortosa Cabrera. He's going to take a more than merited silver medal, but Braganca, and what a story. He's done it the hard yards himself, he's put it together himself, and well, in the end, he found the way there. Tortosa just saved it up, and then really went for it.
Yeah. But this Cabrera chap, he's going to be a real star in the future. He's so confident of his own ability. He didn't rush it, even in the last 20 seconds. He was confident that he could get it back.
He's so confident in the last second there that he actually stood and looked at Braganca as he stepped out of the mat. Instead of having a kick at him, he just stood and looked. But I'm delighted for Hugo Chirao, the coach.